Hello. Welcome to the Run Amuck podcast.
Hello and welcome back to the Run Amuck podcast, home of the best Bachelorette recaps on this side of Indian Wells. As always, I'm your host, David Stahl, and I'm joined alongside me today by my loyal compadre, producer, Gary, to break down all the latest drama from our favorite franchise. Now, guys, if you are new to the podcast, thank you. Rate, review, subscribe. Most important thing, well, the number one most
Number
important
one,
thing,
listen. Number
keep
two,
listening.
keep listening.
Keep
Number
doing what you're
two,
doing.
tell your
Tell a
friends.
friend.
Yeah.
Tell one friend, tell a family member, tell your chemistry teacher, whoever is in Bachelor Nation. Send them our way. Just put
Anyone
them on.
who will listen. Hey.
Yeah,
Just let 'em
that's how
know.
you put a little dollar in the tip jar. That's all we ask for is just whisper. You can actually go up to someone on the street, just tap them on the shoulder, go, the Run Amuck podcast. And that's it. That's you
That's
you're
enough.
doing your job.
Yeah.
What the heck was that? And now it's in their ear. Now they're going to be thinking about it all day long. So that is what you can do for us. Now, if you're a returning listener, welcome back to another season of the greatest reality TV show franchise in the world. We're missing a member of our clan. We're missing Carson Cooper, unfortunately, to kick off the season. That's life. A busy man.
Yeah.
He will be back next week. He had some unavoidable appointments. However, he will be back.
Michelle would approve. He's teaching the youth of tomorrow.
He's teaching the youth of tomorrow.
You can't
would
complain
approve.
about that. Like,
One of the very few people who actually cares about teaching. He doesn't have to put it in a binder to remember to care about teaching the youth of tomorrow. Now, we are going to get into a action-packed premiere from Michelle Young's Bachelorette season. Now, first things first, we normally at the top of the episode do a little bit of listener mail, dive into the feedback, see what info people are giving us. Sometimes it's tips, sometimes it's a juicy meme from Bachelor Nation, sometimes it's just some opinions and feedback from what we said or what they saw. Now, it's a fresh start of a season. We're not going back to paradise. As much as we appreciate your thoughts on our finale recap and our postseason awards, on this podcast, we don't live with the rearview mirror. We're looking forward. So Next week, drop us your feedback on the premiere, and we'll be happy to get to the listener mail. But for right now, Gary, let's not waste any more time. Let's jump right into the intro to this episode. You ready to roll?
let's get it.
All right,
We
let's
got
do
a lot of men to talk about.
A lot of men to jump
Not really,
into.
but there's a lot there for sure.
And first things first, we should also say we always do a draft. So
Yes.
I'm in a little bit of a winning streak. Won 2 seasons in a row now. I'm on a roll. So we draft 3 people each between me, Gary, and Coop to go to the end, and we'll kind of rotate through. Now, of course, Coop's not here. We also don't like to do it week 1 because
let's
it's
do
so
it week
tough
2.
to gauge.
Also, I'm gonna say this. I don't know if you agree with me on this, but this season's contestants, they're hard to read, man. I don't know who's going far. I don't know who's going home early. It's kind of like, I know it's the first episode, but I think it's just the contestants too.
I agree. I think we've got a strong batch, though. I think we
do too. Yeah, I think that's a good sign.
Flying, making fun of some of the guys. Clayton, I've seen on the wrong end of a lot of jokes. Most recently, he was compared to the thumb men from Spy Kids, who are just giant thumbs. Maybe we can put a picture of that in the corner for the people.
That's tough. That's a tough
Those
look.
are the digs that are they just cut so deep because they're so accurate and so mean. Bro, if someone comes up and tells you look like a thumb,
it's over.
You can't spin that into like, oh, no, but I mean this in the nicest way possible. I look like a thumb, like the least attractive finger. So we do have a cast of characters, some very unique men, but I like them a lot. And there are a couple. There's one in particular that if I don't get to draft, I'm going to be devastated.
Don't give them away because I might steal them.
I know. I think you're going to be able to tell throughout the episode, but we'll do the draft next week. Now, my initial thoughts, Michelle, man, it feels so good to be, like I said, it feels like we're just back to the roots of the show. I was telling you before the podcast, Gary, she's so normal. And I mean that in the best way possible. She's certainly not boring. I think this season is going to be awesome. She's the opposite of boring, but she's just a normal person. She,
Mhm.
I don't know if you knew this, Gary, she finished that season and immediately went right back to teaching.
Yeah.
Right back to teaching. She is not active, really. If you check out her social media pages, not active on there whatsoever. She's not trying to grow them. I'm sure she'll have to a certain extent now. She's got to post the previews for each episode or whatever. But throughout the summer, and like, she is a real person with
Yeah.
who cares about a real career, and it
Do
feels
you
very
think she goes
refreshing.
back to teaching after
I
this?
hope I hope so, man.
You
It's
think so?
always tough. Well, it's just so much like, look, I have a lot of teachers I love in my life. It's not an easy job. It's
It's not.
fulfilling,
Yeah.
but it's so much easier to just eat your sponsored salads on the couch and
Yeah.
and talk about your hair vitamins and whatever you got to do in the post bachelorette life. I will say, if anyone was gonna, it's gonna be Michelle Young.
Agreed.
How about you? What do
Yeah.
you think?
I think, like, just by like odds, I'd say she doesn't, just because like everybody who goes on the show just ends up, they just eat their sponsor money and that's how they
Yeah.
live. Like that's what it is. But I think what you were saying, if there's gonna be one, it's gonna be Michelle, because she seems like she loves it, and it seems like it's not just a job to her; it's like her life. Like that's what she's about. So if
And
not,
the
if
guys
not going
know it.
back to teaching, she's gonna continue to work with kids in some capacity. I
Sure.
feel for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there are other avenues. I'm very, very curious. I think it depends who she ends up with. But yeah, her being a teacher and her being a basketball player, we are going to get that shoved down our throat this
Dude,
season.
that's all my notes. It's like this person mentioned basketball. This person said, like, the first.
Everybody.
There was like, I think it might have been, who was it? Clayton. He was like, he mentioned football. I'm like, oh, sorry, buddy. You're out. You play
Peace.
football. You never play basketball? Oh,
wrong sport,
sorry.
bro.
Wrong sport, bro.
We see the
But
preview.
literally
Goes,
every guy
saw my
that
spot
came
on the
up-
hardwood.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I played basketball. I was a point guard too, so we're gonna have a lot in common. It's like, really,
dude, she must get so annoyed. She played D1. I think his name is Brandon. Sorry, I'm gonna mess up some of the names. I wrote them down. I try my best to memorize them. I am notoriously bad for not remembering names at the start of the season. But Brandon or Brendan, he got a lot of screen time, but not a lot of like time with Michelle, I feel like. But he is saying near the end, he had that wild black shirt, black suit, and silver tie combo.
wild.
Which is like very much, yeah, for like a Starry Night themed prom in like 2004. A bold move for a cocktail party in 2021. But he was saying, oh, I played point guard in high school. I'll beat you 1-on-1. Dude, she gets that all the time. I guarantee. Just like, shut up. What college did you play at? You're like 5'11" talking to her about, oh yeah, I'll take you to the post. But hey, we'll get to all the guys. First of all, we get a glimpse of Michelle's parents. I said it last time. I'll say it again. Her dad's my hero.
I might already have to give my rose to them already. I'm gonna lock it
I
in.
didn't even consider giving it to. But her mom drops your father is my everything. Oh my God, my heart melted. The cutest. He's the cutest man on the planet. He's just adorable.
Well,
I
we
want to put him
talked
in my
about
little
them on
pocket.
Matt's season. We were in love with them then, but now we're even gonna see more of them. It's just couldn't be happier about that.
And then we get the intro to Michelle after that. She's driving down, I think it was a Porsche. She's driving through Indian Wells, I believe where Coachella is. Holy shit, this budget is way bigger than what we've got.
Way better than New Mexico, I'll tell you that
for
right
Katie's, man. Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah.
Get absolutely dunked on, no pun intended. I am very excited. A high budget means better dates, means more travel. It feels like we are out of, I know technically we're not, or are we? I don't know. But we're kind of out of the COVID world a little bit, at least logistically with TV shows. And it feels good. I'm ready to travel. I'm ready to see some landscapes that aren't New Mexico. I'm ready to see some dates that aren't picnics by the water treatment plant or whatever the fuck Katie and Greg had to do. It feels good. Does this season feel like a return to normalcy for you a bit, Gare?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there for sure. Like, I think we touched on in the finale of last season, but like Bachelor in Paradise, it just feels so good to get like them traveling again. Like those travel dates are like the highlight of the season sometimes when they get to go to, I know they don't get to go to Mexico and stuff like that, but like just even going into town, checking out the city, whatever. Just a change of scenery is so nice, especially when it's New Mexico. Like we needed to
Oh well,
see that ever again.
I wonder if we're gonna go international. I think we probably will.
I don't think we will be going this season. Maybe we will. Who knows?
I don't know. We'll see. Time will tell. I'm sure that's out there. Maybe people can let us know what's to come in the season. However, no spoilers. No, we are a spoiler-free podcast. Keep that in mind. Now, we get introduced to Clayton. We're not going to go through every guy because, again, I mean this in the nicest way possible.
In 2 weeks, so
some of them just straight up don't matter. How'd you feel about Chris Esque, commodities broker from I think West California? He comes in the shorts, the schoolboy shorts. Seems like a bit of a douche, but he's very pretty. He's kind of like a pretty guy. What I think he's going to go far and be a character. I think he's going to be very, very good in confessionals. Don't think he's going to end up with Michelle. Not to be a jerk. The height thing. Oh boy, some of those guys were going tippy toes. Some of those boys were going, Michelle, you should have worn flats. She is a tall woman. And but first of all, when she's waiting for them outside the limo, she is gorgeous. Obviously, this doesn't need to be said, but dear Lord, she is beautiful. She is just like, when you look, like, again, no offense to any other Bachelorette, but sometimes you just look at a Bachelorette and you go, that's the star of a TV show right there. Michelle looks like she should have 30 guys punching each other in the face.
Well, and half the guys were speechless. You don't really see that a lot. Like, you do see it a little bit on the other seasons, but this season in particular, like, they were like, I don't know what to say. Like,
you're so right. And that was a big thing when they got in the house. Like, I still can't talk. Like, they were absolutely floored. There were a lot of convoluted lines, a lot of pickup lines, a lot of scripted. I've always said, again, it's a lot easier for me to say from the couch, but just come and say something nice. Say, wow, you look absolutely gorgeous. Wait for her response. Don't speak over. Say, it is so nice to meet you. Look her in the eyes. Tell her your name. Maybe say it another time at the end of the conversation. Have it imprint and go in. It doesn't have to be this big thing. Like, make it sweet, make it genuine. Wait for her to respond.
Even just being honest and being like, hey, I'm nervous as fuck right now. I can't even talk. So this is my name.
It just has to be a conversation. Like, the more you like come up with a line in your head, then you got to come up with how do I respond if she responds with this or this or this? Just, dude, go up and have a conversation.
So many of those pickup lines fell flat too, and it was like, oh man, you spent all this time thinking, and oh god.
We'll get to some of those. We do get Clayton, who okay, here's the thing. I don't know if it's confirmed yet, but we do know, obviously, it is confirmed that The Bachelor is coming from this season. From all the energy I'm getting online, it feels like it's Clayton. It feels like it's locked in Clayton. Again, I'm not spoiling anything. I don't know anything, but that's the vibe, is that it's very much basically Clayton. So
I could see him, that or Chris, like from a completely like, I don't know anything. Those would be my two picks.
It'll be interesting because Jesse Palmer is going to be the host for Bachelor, and Clayton is really just Jesse Palmer with giantism. Honestly, like, he is just Jesse Palmer. If Jesse Palmer went boom, like that, or just like held his breath long enough, it just kind of expanded that much. It's uncanny. They're identical. How would you feel if we kind of know that Clayton is the future Bachelor? Because we got that with Nick Viall's season. We found out that Rachel Lindsay was going to be the Bachelorette. I don't know if I think it leaked, and then they tried to get ahead of the story and release it themselves. But I think there was 4 people left. Rachel Lindsay ended up going to the top 2.
Wow.
And it leaked that she was the Bachelorette. Ruined the whole season. Right? Because why am I watching down the stretch? I know who walks away. But I think Clayton, I have a feeling he's going to go like top 6, top 5, maybe just before hometowns he gets cut. So if that's the case, I actually don't really mind knowing that he is the next Bachelor. It's kind of like watching, I think Barstool Trent tweeted this out yesterday. It's kind of like watching an origin story, which is kind of neat. Like,
it's kind of cool,
seeing.
I'm fine Matt James, we had nothing from him before, which was cool. It's nice to see new additions. But like, I agree with that fully. Like, I love to see like him develop as a person just on the cast.
Yeah, exactly.
Then he's like thrusted into the spotlight next season.
Yeah,
just like that.
Watch him open up. We already saw a bit of his mom. We see him kind of unveil his heart, and we know he's eventually going to get heartbroken because how does he become the Bachelor otherwise? So we're just waiting for. I don't know.
It feels more like an actual TV series when it's like
exactly. Yeah. It's kind of leads us in.
He might be an OP draft pick. He might be like #1 seed. For the draft, because he's going somewhat far, right?
This is why you show up to the podcast, Coop, because if I'm saying he's Bachelor, well then don't pick him. However, my boy doesn't listen to old episodes. I know he checks the comments, but I know he's not listening this deep in. So there's a little tidbit. We'll see. All the listeners, keep an eye out and watch if Coop drafts Clayton. That would be spectacular. Now, Joe. Do we want to get into our boy Joe? A lot of people are saying,
Joe, yes, the property manager, yes,
the property manager.
I was trying to jog my memory. Yes, I do remember Joe.
Michelle, and we're just talking limo entrances right now.
Yeah,
but Michelle DM'd him, right?
Yeah.
Now, people are saying, I don't like how he was walking away while Michelle was talking to him. Now, to me, that's just nervous energy. Like, I understand that. I understand it's rude. Like, he keeps walking away. She goes, hey, where do I know you from? And he has his back turned. I understand that. Me, I'm chalking that up to a bit of nervous energy. But what I don't get is why I understand that there was the George Floyd tragedy, and that was his explanation behind not messaging her. You can't explain that in 2 seconds. You can't just tell someone, hey, I'm not ready to talk. You got a full ghost.
Yeah.
You can't respond. And this was before
double ghosting, man.
I don't mean to go all private investigation, but that tragedy took place before Matt James's season aired. Like, this was before she appeared on television at all.
Yeah.
So this is when she was a regular woman. All I'm saying is it's not great. I didn't listen to that explanation and go, well, completely understand.
Yeah. Well, even Michelle, I don't think completely understood either. She was like, no. I don't know really what you're talking about. Like, sure, that's a really bad tragedy that happened. And a lot of people, like, especially if you're on ground zero of it, like you're experiencing it, it's tough.
Of course.
But you could have messaged me back. Like, come on.
Yeah. That's all you got to say, dude. That's all you got to say. Yeah. It's just can't talk right now.
Yeah.
So we'll see what comes with Joe. I'm not a fan. I might draft him because I have zero integrity whatsoever when it comes to winning this draft. However, I want on the record now, not a fan. Now, a man I am a big fan of, and I see those previews. Oh, he's an actor. Oh, he's here for the wrong reasons. Hey, guess what? I don't care. This dude's dreamy as hell. He's got 2 dangly earrings. He's technically Canadian. No one has given off less Canadian vibes ever. They were very sure to skim over the fact that he's Canadian and jump into, I think he's living in somewhere in Texas now.
Hey, but he is Nate. He is the Canadian. We get that distinction.
With a Y. Better Nate than never. Bro, first of all, that line doesn't work if you're literally the first guy out of the limo. He's the first dude. He goes, better Nate than never. You're early as hell, bro. But
that's got to be a contingency line. You got to be last. You have to be last.
That's someone who didn't come with a backup plan. Shit, I'm first. Better.
Well, they obviously submit what they're gonna like touch on, I guess, in the intros probably. And
you're right.
They saw that and they're like, okay, you're going first, I guess.
Yep, you're going first, bro. Yeah. But he is a great, well, obviously, first impression. But that was really the epitome of like, hey, keep it short and sweet. Leave him wanting more. Yeah. Especially if you're that tall and you look like that. Dreamy dude, tall guy. And we'll get to it later.
That's the thing, though. If you're tall and dreamy, you don't even need to say anything, really.
And if you're tall, you also don't need to talk about it, Thomas. He didn't mention his height once.
True.
He didn't mention his height one single time. I didn't hear it come out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Then we go Jack Russell. Okay. I think he was the dude who looked like he was catering a bar mitzvah, right? He's got the white jacket on. He goes, I'm ready to play tug of war for your heart. Oh boy, I've never heard a faker laugh.
We got Catman last season, and now we're getting Dogman.
Bro, we're getting Dogman. we had a couple of these from Michelle.
Dude, she was fake laughing a lot. She pretended like a lot of the time like she was impressed, and she was like, "No, you did great. You did great. Like you killed it." But we know we can see through it.
She's super nice. Yeah, so this is probably the worst lines I've ever had, or we've ever heard on this show, or at least certainly the most.
Yeah.
Again, people are trying to bring their A game. It's just the fact that the bar we've talked about before. For dudes, the bar is under the ground, and this was the best they came up with. But one dude who I loved, I want to get your thoughts on him.
Yeah,
Jamie. Gary, what were your thoughts on Jamie? He was very charismatic. He had the tan suit jacket. He had an incredible smile. He brought what was his lines?
Yeah. I do remember.
He had several lines, but he gave a very authentic vibe to me. She says to him later at the cocktail party, "I feel like you're someone who just doesn't have awkward moments."
Yeah.
Which to me, I'd be like, shit, if she said that to me, because I don't know, high expectations. Like, you just met me. We've been around for 6 moments. I've memorized what I was going to say the whole time. Like, now I got to keep this up for eternity or else my reputation is ruined. But no, in all seriousness, I liked him a lot.
Yeah.
He did keep doing this during the cocktail party, like trying to catch her attention. It was kind of freaking me out. She'd be talking, go, I don't know if you got that, but violently raising his eyebrows for anyone listening. But yeah, what are your thoughts on Jamie and how far? Obviously, it's a little early to project, but I see him going quite far. What are your thoughts?
I think he's going to go far. I don't really remember him too much, but he's got that. He's a biotech CEO. He's got that CEO energy. So
Ooh, he does have CEO energy.
I think just the fact that he got screen time in the first episode means he's gonna go at least 3 or 4 weeks. I could see him going far. There's just so much drama up in the air. I don't like you. A good guy could get cut here and there. You never know. But
yeah,
I do like him. I like him a lot for sure. He's gonna be a high contested draft pick, I think.
On the previews, it is always fascinating to see who ends up not even it's tough to know who goes super far, but even far enough for a kiss. And up next on the previews, I saw my boy Rick in some sort of like gondola kissing Michelle.
Yeah.
And yet he comes in with his head on a plate full of lettuce. What did you feel? How did you feel about this entrance? Because again, it's a memorable entrance.
Yeah.
But it's not that different from what we saw from James in the box last season. If I got this
he got out and he was able to show his face.
He did get out. I appreciated that. I would have been more in on the entrance had we gotten a couple seasons ago, but we just got James in the box. I don't need Rick on the plate, sort of thing. Not that different. But Rick to me is a guy whose smile gives me no comfort.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, he seems like a creepy dude. I don't know what it is about him. There's just something off. Maybe
there's just something off.
Nervous energy. Totally fair if that's the case.
Perhaps.
I don't know, man. He gives me
perhaps
vibes.
Nervous energy.
Yeah.
Perhaps he kills small animals in his free time. We don't know. I don't know Rick. Why am I going on the record defending Rick? If he ends up being a criminal in 2 months, I don't want a recording of me being like, "Oh, I'll vote for this guy no matter what."
Yeah.
If Rick ends up doing something heinous, I'm not going to bat for him. The smiles were freaking me out. Really out of nowhere. Like, she could be saying, "I'm just excited to get to know you." Be like, okay, well, I'm from Boston, and like the guy was jacked up with energy.
I'm gonna chalk it up to nervous energy, but I think I could like him. I think there's potential there for sure.
No, he does seem like an interesting dude, and it was a unique enough entrance. Sure, fair enough. Another devastating entrance. I forgot. I think his name is. It's not Russell. It starts with Randy. Maybe Randy
Rodney?
comes in on the Rodney comes in on the tiny fire truck.
I think it was
shuffling along. I think you nailed it. I'm almost certain it's Rodney, but he's shuffling along in the tiny fire truck. It's a funny bit. Then it get all those funny bits at a certain point they get a little old. So okay, just pick up the goddamn fire truck. We don't have half an hour to watch it come down the driveway. And then right after, dude, this is so devastating. The producers
It was Daniel, I think. Was it
Daniel?
Not? There's 2 firefighters. Really?
No. And
so Rodney wasn't even a firefighter? No, it's not Rodney. It's not Rodney. There's no way it's
He's
Rodney.
a bit. Oh, Rodney's the tomato guy.
Yeah,
Rodney's the tomato guy. Or the apple.
The apple.
Yes. Yeah. No, it must have been sure Daniel or whatever. I honestly
Daniel.
If it's not
Because there's
Rodney,
only
I
two
have
firefighters, and one's Daniel and one's PJ. And I know PJ came
Oh,
in
my
on the
man, PJ
fucking
comes
big
up on the
truck.
fire truck. You know what? I'll give it away right now. I love Nate, but PJ is my guy.
Dude,
I want that
PJ,
drop pic,
even
dude.
just his like contestant photo is like he's a
Bro.
lady killer.
He is so
It's
hot.
unfair.
You got to be confident in your masculinity to call it. I am confident enough in my masculinity to call a dude hot, and that dude is smoking.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. He's got the mustache just chilling over the lip. Like that's exactly where it's supposed to be. I think he had an earring in, comes in on the massive fire truck. I have nothing to go off of. I think that dude is going far. There was literally no doubt in my mind that dude was getting a rose the whole time.
Yeah.
I was like, I think he got it kind of like not super early. I wasn't sweating at all. You're not sending that dude away.
He didn't have to get any time. He wasn't one of those guys who were like, oh, I didn't get time, I'm kind of nervous. He knew. He was like,
he knew, of course, dude. At the very least, you're gonna be like, okay, well, if there's a modicum of a personality there, he's making it to top 4.
Exactly,
for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll see how far PJ goes, but I am a big fan. Then we get Peter the Pizzapreneur.
That's actually the job title they gave him.
Is there a bigger fraud in the world? He comes with this dude. This was the one moment where I wish Carson was here to talk about. He would be freaking out. For any new listeners, there's nothing quite like a good old-fashioned Carson rant.
Yeah.
He comes with this disgusting dough. He throws it up in the air. It splats on the ground like it was made of Elmer's white glue.
Yeah.
There's simply no way.
Well, and here's what would have pissed Carson off, I think, the most is he walks up and she asks him when he's walking away. He's like, do you know how to make pizza? And he's like, I don't know. I guess you'll find out later. Or it's like something along those lines. It's like, bro, what do you mean? Do you make pizza or do you not? Like, what?
I'm not a fan. You haven't earned that mysteriousness. I just don't, straight up, this sounds kind of mean, I do not find this dude interesting in the slightest. He's feeding her a cannoli. I'm not gonna lie, the cannoli looked delicious. But dude, a pizzapreneur, you sell pizza. It's not a new thing. You're a pizza maker, or you own a shop, or your son. But
he looks like the spoiled son of a pizza shop.
He does.
He does look. He's got that vibe. Maybe he'll surprise us, but I don't think he will.
He's in some confrontations later, though. From what we see, I think he's the one throwing the jacket in the middle of the jacket
controvery.
Yes, I think he's in the middle of the big giant
that's the
jacket
biggest controversy we got coming up. So
holy,
I'm looking forward to. Do you think they'll just drag that out all season and then it'll be nothing?
Oh, we might very well. But dude, bro, I know it's so funny, and this line killed me. This is the quote of the episode, and it's just literally a preview for future episodes. When he throws the jacket in, I forget the dude whose jacket he throws in. We didn't really get much time with him. The guy is in another room, and he's clearly like about to cry. He goes, oh, this dude just keeps pressing my buttons, bro. I died laughing. To like at your peak levels of rage, that is the word choice that you go, oh, this dude just pressing my buttons, man.
That's so funny.
Oh my god. So we'll see.
Those two incidents might be unrelated, though. I have a sneaking suspicion it's not the same
really
thing. I think so.
Because getting your leather jacket dumped in a pool,
I don't think I'm crying over that.
Oh, depends how much money we're talking. Right. I'm crying over $1,000 jacket.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Then I'm shedding some tears for sure. Yeah. But we'll see. Now, cocktail party. Again, I had Jamie written down, extremely charming. Dude had me blushing. The conversation with Joe. Look, I could be wrong, but to me, the whole I've gone to therapy situation, like that line is so dried out to me, bro. We get that from everybody all the time. Oh, I've gone to therapy. Oh, I've worked on myself. It feels like just like the Hail Mary, I love you that you can use earlier in the season. Like
Bachelor trope now. After the pandemic, it's like, oh,
everybody's
I've worked on myself. I'm a new person. Blah 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 blah. Like, we get it. Everyone's gonna say that. It's not anything special. You might as well not say it.
It's not a get out of jail free card. Yeah. Like, you don't just get to ghost someone and go, yeah, but I go to therapy since.
Yeah.
Like,
okay, sick. Okay. You could have texted me back after you. Like,
yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Now, Casey. Now, I guarantee you don't remember him, Gary. But if you have the page up there,
Yeah, I do.
pull up Casey, and we're gonna have two pictures in the corner right now because the only thing I have to say on him, I think he comes on for 2 seconds and is talking about like how he's not getting much time or whatever. He is Dak Shepard's absolute twin.
Yeah. Looks like Dak Shepard's like older cousin.
Yes, yeah, it is nuts. If you don't know who Dak Shepard is Kristen Bell's husband, has his own podcast. He's doing his thing. Holy smokes! When he came on the screen, I was like, what? Maybe they just need an extra cast member. And Dak's like, okay, I could use a paycheck. I'll come for 2 episodes.
His page sucks too. Casey likes camping, but he hates sleeping in tents. So you don't like camping.
Already the way you don't like camping. You don't like camping. Dude,
I'm gonna go out and say it.
Casey loves road trips, but he hates sitting in the car.
Yeah, like what?
Casey loves math, but he hates doing addition. All right, cool, okay. Dude.
So you don't like it?
Nice. Yeah. What an absolute. That's the dumbest statement I've ever heard in my life. Then we get into the Michelle and Ryan situation because Caitlin and Tayshia. First of all, any thoughts on Caitlin and Tayshia? I thought they just did a good job. Feel like they're in their element.
I think they're just doing their job now. Now it's just normal now.
I couldn't agree more. It just feels like they're a part of the program now. Yeah, but they're going through. Now we've never seen this before, but they're going through people's bags. Now the producers obviously know what are in people's bags. They're searching them beforehand. They're just making sure that they don't have whatever cell phones, whatever they're not supposed to have, contraband.
Mm-hmm.
So they know that these are in there. I don't think Caitlin and Tayshia know beforehand because look, here's the thing with Ryan. They find all these scripted documents of like, oh, this is stuff about Michelle. This is stuff about the show. The weirdest stuff, it's not really about Michelle. It's about the show. It's about who to emulate. We got our boy Jason Tartik, who I love, Caitlin's husband. Also, that must have been weird for Caitlin to see. Be like, oh, is he gonna murder my husband and wear his face as his face?
What the note said to emulate him. I took his face.
If I'm someone, that's like worst case scenario for me. If someone's trying to steal my face, that's like top 5 worst case scenarios. But that to me, obviously, I think to everyone is the creepiest part. I don't think it was scripted. Because I love the producers.
Do you think Bachelor producer plant?
We've had multiple people message the account about this. Some are saying scripted, some are saying not. I'm on record. I'm a sheep for the producers. I like to believe what they want me to believe. It's entertaining. I want to believe that this dude's nuts, that he came on the show to try to finagle everybody. But also his reaction was so awkward.
They did him dirty terrifying. With those like serial killer like camera angles too in the hallway.
Yeah. They zoomed out to get how far his buttons were. He kept losing a button. The more nervous he got, by the end he was just naked in the hallway.
Well, so he was just standing in a corner with no one around him, just looking like sheepish as hell. Like,
oh, bro,
it's a tough look.
Tough look. I don't know. Do you think it was scripted?
I think he's a plant. I think he is. The way he played it off, like I went onto his Instagram, and the way he's like kind of owning it. It doesn't feel like he got caught in something. It feels like this was planned, and he's like, okay.
I don't know. Give us your thoughts below. I feel like this will be the most hotly debated aspect of this episode. To me, the biggest thing was how are there it's not even the fact that there are notes. How are there so many notes?
That's the thing. Like that's why it's so egregious.
Books of notes. They're legitimately 4 novels. I think I saw the missing Game of Thrones book in there. It's like, oh wait a second. Is that the 6th book?
Here's the thing too. He mentions like 40 names who helped him write these notes. He's like, oh, my friend's wife did it, and then he's like, oh, well, I actually wrote some too. Oh, and I actually had a couple of girlfriends help me write some. Like, were you getting everybody to help you craft these notes?
Dude, that's what. Like, to me, it was so awkward. It was so poorly spoken. There was no like direct explanation. He didn't even freak out or explode or have this big bombastic exit.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, I think it's real. I hope it's real. I hope that this is a real person just floating around society that is this nuts, because that's just makes the world more entertaining to live in. I believe it. Maybe I'm a fool. Maybe the people will all agree in the comment section that I'm a moron. But I don't know. To me, it was too awkward. But I
Yeah.
had someone say, like, I saw people defending him online, being like, it's not that weird. I think he's just socially awkward and he needed some prompts to like connect with her. Like, you're wrong. We like to
Well,
say that
okay,
we
if that
agree.
was the
Like,
case, you'd take a page, maybe. Like, I
a
would.
page, that's it.
That's
Like, what
it.
are we talking about?
Yeah.
What do we need 4 novels for? What do we need reminders to care about what she's talking about? Hey, try being a human being. How about you do your best impression of a man?
We have phones nowadays. Maybe just keep them on there. I don't know.
You can't take your phone with you, but
that's true. I forgot about that.
But let's hope that maybe you can memorize the fact that you should care about what she's like. Like, he's like, wrote down, pretend to listen, pretend to care.
Yeah.
You're a psychopath. So, I mean, see you, Ryan. I mean, the whole thing, it felt so, everything he was talking about, oh, like, this is, we're going right according to plan, or, oh, I know she likes sexuality. Everything was so calculated and unnatural.
Yeah.
And isn't it freaky though how Michelle she's a smart woman, obviously, right? Great head on her shoulders, emotionally intelligent, I would imagine good at reading people. Oh boy, he may have gotten the first impression rose. I think he probably still would have gotten to Nate because he's simply too dreamy to
I
look
was gonna
past.
say
But
the same
still,
thing though, because he had the deepest conversation. Like, he had an episode, like 8 conversation on night 1.
yeah,
He was getting deep. Like, he was making a move. Ryan.
Yeah, isn't that
Like,
scary?
that is super scary because he could have gone far.
Dudes like that are out there.
Yeah.
That's just a terrifying concept. Yeah. So,
yeah.
Oh boy. Now, first impression, we've got through a bit of a dry spell. First impression roses not really meaning all that much. I forget who got it on Tasha's season, but I don't think it was the winner. Then we did not get it on Matt's season. It was obviously Abigail. Yeah. First impressions kind of lost their chutzpah. This is the first time in a while that I feel like this first impression rose to Nate is a big one. I think he's going to be around for a very, very long time. In my opinion, he's the front runner. Sometimes that can be a curse. You don't want to be in the front too quickly because producers will trick us with that edit. That's their job.
Yep.
But what were your thoughts on Nate getting the first impression rose? Did it make sense? It felt like to me that there was no one else really in contention.
No, I don't think there was anyone else she could have chose. It just makes sense. Yeah. He was the only one who had like a real conversation, I feel like, with her. So like just kind of default had to go to him. But I do like him. I think he's going to go far. I think he's going to be I kind of want to draft him now, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised if he's your number 1 too. Like,
as much as I love PJ, like, hey, it's like, I think it's Nate and everyone else trying to catch up. Like, Joe has, I guess, suppose a bit of history there. He's from Minnesota. There are a good crop of guys, but to me, it's just Nate is the leading man right now. And leading man, interesting choice of words, because we do see some accusations of him being insincere, being an actor. I use the same example every single time. Jordan Rogers was accused of the exact same thing. This dude's here to be the Bachelor. This dude is too put together. He's too handsome. He's too top shelf to be this perfect. Now he's just in a happy, committed relationship with the girl that he went on the show for. So sometimes good dudes are wolves in sheep's clothing, like Orion. Sometimes good dudes are just good dudes. You know what I mean? Yeah, maybe he's just handsome and charming and actually just a catch. So we will see. I'm very, very intrigued with that controversy. But we go to the rose ceremony to close this out here. Man, I always feel bad. I always feel bad for the guys that do not get a single word in, especially during the COVID era where they had to quarantine.
Yeah.
And, oh boy, rest in peace, Garrett.
Like, you gotta be. It's either like it's kill or be killed in the cocktail party. Not in the edit, like even in the cocktail party. Like people always complain about like, oh, this person's taking my time. Like, you gotta go get time.
You gotta go to get, but
it's not gonna be handed to you. Like,
if you're gonna go home night 1, my thing is also like, you might just get an edit where you're not even on the show.
Yeah.
Like Garrett. Who's that? Our not to be a dick, but like our Botox prince. That's kind of the only way I know him, is that dude clearly had a ton of Botox. before the show. You can pull him up, Gary. That
I'm pulling
face
him
is
up.
stretched
Oh yeah. Oh my
thin.
god.
Yeah, we didn't get a lot of Garrett. Yeah, I don't know if his forehead fit on the screen. They had to say wide angle, but sorry, Garrett, stray shots. But we are giving you some publicity. I always feel bad for those dudes, but we say goodbye to, I mean, guys who nothing. I'm not even gonna say their names. Maybe we'll see you on Paradise. You can become the next grocery store Joe. At least that is a little inspirational point, eh?
Yeah, you could be a
One
nobody.
of the
There's
biggest
a lot of
stars.
nobodies on last season of Bachelor in Paradise. Like they were like, I went home night one, didn't really get to shine.
Marissa was, I don't know if she was technically a night one. I think she may have been. It was either her or Deandra who was a night one, but both of them had great seasons. So
yeah,
doesn't mean it's the end of the road for you, Garrett. It's probably the end of the road for you, but for other people, it's not. There's tons of Garrett. You may be a Bachelor in Paradise Canada sort of guy, but no offense to the program. We're recording this from Canada. But all right, if you're ready, Gary, did you have any other notes on the episode you wanted to dive into? You ready for our rose
not
and our
really.
thorn?
I was just gonna say like, it's not till like week 2 or 3 we'll start to care about people. I feel like because
right now there's just
weeks, it's just too many people, right?
Like, I think right now, the people sticking out to me. I mean, we've got Nate, obviously. We've got Joe. We've got Clayton.
Yep.
Chris S. I don't hate Chris S. Other than that,
do you know who I think Jamie? We're sleeping on actually?
Who?
Pardeep. I think he's being slept on a little bit.
I don't.
You don't think so?
No, I think Pardeep's a week 2 guy.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
that's fair. That's fair.
Sorry,
fair.
I didn't mean to burst your bubble.
No,
I remember specifically thinking last night, like, you know how I wrote down Rip Garrett. Before Pardeep even got the rose, I wrote Rip Pardeep because I was like, oh well, that dude's obviously
I think there's something we're not seeing. I think he's getting like cut out and edited or something. I think.
Yeah, I think we're getting exactly what we see. Not a whole lot. If Pardeep you're watching, I'm sorry, my man. Hey, I hope I'm wrong, but I will bet you $1 right now, Pardeep.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I'm not drafting him. I'm just saying I think we might be sleeping on him a little bit.
You think he might just make it a few weeks, just squeeze along?
Yeah. Week 4 or 5, you know, something like that.
Yeah, I think he's a week 2 actually, but we'll see. I hope I'm wrong.
I hope you're wrong too. Now
I hope I'm wrong. We'll see. Shout out to Pardeep. Now let's jump into our roses and our thorns here. Let's start off on the negative, and we'll end on the positive because this was a very positive start to the season. Gary, let's kick it off. Give me your thorn for this episode.
My thorn is gonna have to be. This is kind of a weird thorn, but just the sheer amount of men that we have to go through. Like it's so, dude. I always forget this, but the first episode, it's just such a like marathon.
Oh, so much fat to cut.
I don't know. I don't care about these people, and I don't know them. And then you get to the hour, like the halfway point, and then you can start caring a little bit because we get to the cocktail party and stuff. But the first part of the episode, the intros, they can be good, but most of the time it just doesn't matter. Like,
most of the time the intros that they give us are guys who are going home.
Exactly.
Right?
So they just have no impact. So that's gonna be my thorn.
That's a good one. And I was thinking last night, imagine being Michelle, because you gotta know a couple of these guys are like, again, I'm not trying to pile on this guy, but you have a conversation with Garrett. You're like, okay, you're going home. Yeah. But you still gotta listen to this dude's freaking life story. It's like, man.
Well, yeah, and she has to go through a 10-hour film session of just meeting people.
I don't know if you saw, but it was bright outside when they finished. I'm not even joking. Like we know, talking with Ed, talking with Kenny, talking with Brendan, like that's what they do. They go right through the night.
Yeah.
Holy, what a marathon. And she, at a certain point, she just go, look, you're going to make some lovely girl very happy, but it's not me. Let's save these intros for your next first date in a couple weeks. Like this is not happening. That's a great one. For my thorn, you're not going to remember this dude. And I bet he went home. I'm not sure. I hope he did. I can't imagine he stayed after this. Brandon's limo entrance. The worst one I've ever seen. He pulls out the beads and he goes,
oh my God.
Here you go. Now you got to show me. And he goes like this with 2 hands. And she goes, oh, then I'll just give you these back. And he goes, oh, no, I meant your heart. You're 16 years old. Like, what a doorknob, man.
Yeah, that's the worst entrance I've ever seen in my whole life.
it's horrible for anyone. And then like Michelle is also, again, she's trying to come out of this and still be a teacher theoretically. That's not gonna work, bro.
Yeah.
Like also, can I give my thorn to? I'm going off here. I give my thorn to LT. You're not Kenny. Get the briefs off. That was disgusting. That was actually revolting. And then every dude, Clayton was okay with like, oh, are you gonna spank me with the ruler? That was fine. But every dude in like a little schoolboy outfit, why, this is so creepy, man. She just fifth grade.
Yeah.
What's the joke here? That she's dating one of her fifth grade students?
Yeah, it's just not
No.
a good look. Yeah,
just go up and
leaning
introduce
into
yourself.
these like very superficial like traits about her, like, oh, you're a teacher and you play basketball. If I'm just gonna lean into those two things. Be creative, man. Like, figure out what she likes, maybe a little bit deeper than just basketball, and that she
Bring an ice cream truck.
Yes, maybe don't do that actually. But...
And then don't be a serial killer. There's only 2 parts.
Yes,
That's a perfect plan.
Yes.
You if you're gonna bring the ice cream
Don't
truck, all you gotta do is not kill small animals in your garage, and then you're golden. The bar the bar is so low.
Yeah.
Come up with something semi-cute without being a sociopath.
Yeah.
All right, beautifuls. What's your rose? What's your rose?
So my rose is gonna be, so after the Ryan situation went down, and she came downstairs, she's like, I would love to be like offended by this and just like kind of like cancel the cocktail party and whatever. I'm gonna I'm gonna be a trooper and I'm gonna keep going. I love that. And no shade to Katie, but I feel like Katie in this situation would have shut down. She would have canceled the cocktail party.
Or it would have been some bullshit.
Yeah, and jumped straight to the rose ceremony or whatever. But Michelle was like, "Nah, we're gonna forget this ever happened. We're gonna keep going with the cocktail party." And I just love that. It's just like more love to Michelle. You're killing it already, episode 1. So I can't wait for the rest of the season. Yeah.
That's a great one. I was going to give mine to Michelle just generally, but I'll stray away because that's a great one. I think I'm going to give mine, bro. I'm enamored. I think I just got to give it to my man PJ. I was swept off my feet. This firefighter. Oh my gosh, dude. This dude has swag coming out the wazoo. But you know what? I'm going to switch it. I'm going to give it to the crop of guys generally because it's night 1 and I can name 5 guys I'm semi-interested in. Joe, Clayton, Nate, PJ, and Jamie. There we go. 5 guys right off the bat that I think are decently interesting. And we haven't even dived into the rest. So I'm giving it to the crop of guys because we have had some weak ass.
They seem a little less bromancy than Katie's season as well.
Little less bromancy. I saw a meme saying like they would have loved to see Aaron and James's reaction to Ryan bringing the notes. Oh shit! Dude, I would have loved like if they were on the season.
You know, like how DVDs used to have like these bonus features where like they do like commentary over. We need a Aaron and James like commentary version of the bat where they're just reacting to it live. Like that would be so good. Watch parties
a fantastic
with
idea.
Aaron and James would be so good.
You're killing it. You're saving the franchise right now. Holy, well, maybe in the future. Now, speaking of the future, we have a spectacular preview that just lights the way for the rest of the season and looks amazing. Like we said, looks like we're traveling a lot. Looks like we're getting some very, very spicy interactions between some of the guys. Little pizzapreneur. Looks like the pizza's getting a little burnt in the oven. Things are getting heated up. So we cannot wait to see what's next. We're in love with Michelle. The guys seem spectacular. Caitlin and Tasha are crushing the hosting situation once again. They seem comfortable in that role. We're back. We are back in the swing of our regularly scheduled programming. COVID, it never existed. We never had those weird half seasons. Claire Crawley and Dale never happened. Who are either of those two? We're back right where we're supposed to be.
You never went to New Mexico. You can forget that.
Never went to New Mexico. And you watching are right where you're supposed to be. So please rate, review, subscribe, and just go up to someone on the street, go up to someone on the subway and go, "The Amuck Podcast," and then slip away. To get off, even if it's not your stop, just jump out and slither away. Thank you guys so much. We'll be back with our draft next week with Carson. Lock it in. Producer Gary. Remember,
a wet bird never flies at night.
Thank you and peace.